one of the things that we wanted to share was just we're going to do a series of videos on warm-up exercises
and relaxation
pieces because it's really important for your body as a performer. Pre-show, in between shows, all the time, different things. So we're going to share things that we use. And the first one, we're going to do some stretching pieces that we use. So some of these I use with classes that I teach, some I use for myself, and different things that we're going to share. Okay. So the first, I like to call it saying hello to my body and just waking up from head to toe. And you can either, I guess you could go from your feet to your head. I like to start with my head a lot of times, and I just go forward, to the side. And to help with this, you can make the stretch even deeper if you put your right hand place it on your left ear. That's the direction we're going. But don't push down, you're just using the weight of your hand. And then your other hand, I press down into the floor.
That really
and
hurts.
It stretches your neck. Yeah, careful. So then just let the arm down and your head float up. And the other side, and just repeating that. So placing a hand and stretching the other one. And you should get a nice long stretch on the neck, down there. And with the neck, I think it's really important to be very, very gentle. Partly because there's a lot of tension we hold in our shoulders and the neck can be really stiff. So you want to be very, very gentle. Next one I like to do is draw a circle with my nose and just gently undulating your neck. You can go the other way. So just kind of loosening it up.
That does feel really good.
Next, you can go to the shoulders and just very gently roll them in movers, and does a lot of visualizations and thinking about proper movement and alignment. And he talks about thinking about when you're moving joints. Imagine that there is something like bubbles or soap or maybe something slippery so that it's sliding. It's not crunching and crackling. It's really gently just oiling the joints and things. Interlock your fingers and stretch them out. Okay. Then over your head. Put your shoulders down. Yeah. Then you can take your hands. This is one I like because it opens the back of your shoulders. You cross your hands and you flip your hands, at least mine face my face, and then I switch them again and see if you can touch them. If you can't touch them, the idea is just to have your arms crossed so that you're pulling on your back of your shoulders. So you're going to pull forward with your elbows and stretch that forward, and it's going to have a nice opening and stretch in your back shoulders, between your shoulder blades. And then you can switch which arm's on top. Your hands can get really tight as well. And so I place my hands together, then I make a diamond, then I make a circle with the top part of the fingers, and then open it up to a triangle shape. And then you can close and repeat it, and do it faster.
It takes so much thought.
It's so much thought, and this is really good because a lot of times when we go out and exercise, you're maybe listening to something, or you're listening to music, or you're watching something, and you're not really paying attention to what your body is doing. So to be present, thinking through it is really, really helpful. So once you get it, it's just the wave with your fingers. Traditional dance from India, Thailand, some other places, they really have very flexible fingers and hands as you're doing things. And it's beautiful to watch. We don't do that as much. But if you type a lot, yeah, so shake your hand. Next we can go to your knees, so you could just kind of rub your knees a little bit and then go and make a nice circle. And always being really gentle as you're doing that, and then the opposite way. And the whole time when you're standing, and I didn't start with this, but I think about standing in what I call sort of a neutral stance, which would be not feet together, but all just underneath your hips standing.
Just like in singing.
Yes. And then your knees not locked. Gently release. Don't lock your knees because you will pass out. So you're just, and then I think about stacking. So my ankles, my knees, my hips, shoulders, ears, everything's stacked. One on top of each other. And you think about your feet, you want to try to find a nice kind of in the middle of the foot triangle place that you're standing. And that's great for when you're stretching, just to be aware and thinking. And then for your feet, sometimes I bring my knee up and I press into the floor with your standing leg. And just let your knee kind of hang, and then you can rotate your ankle. And then do the other way.
Just take some balance.
Yeah,
She does Tai Chi.
I do Tai Chi.
This is much harder for the singer over here.
And then the same, just repeat it on the other side. So no matter what you're doing performance-wise, you want to think about being aware of your body, whether you're singing or acting, balance, flexibility, stretching, but a lot of just, like I said, saying hello to the body and kind of going through. So those are be a brief thing that I would do. There's other things you can add to it and work on. Now we're gonna do some
Floor stretch.
floor stretching.
They actually help my lower back a lot. That's where I hold a lot of tension. I think a lot of performers hold tension in their neck and in their lower back here. As singers, it has to do with the way we breathe. We're opening the rib cage a lot, and we're using our lower abdominals, so then it causes some tension on the lower back. So this will help release that. You're supposed to keep your bum on your heels the whole time, and you just slide down the floor, keeping your bum down, and then if you can, I rest my forehead on the floor. And then you breathe deep and you fall asleep and wake up. I come back up. I just find it really relaxing, and when you rest your
Yeah.
forehead, you're giving lots of, blood flow to the brain.
And also, just helps you breathe deeper.
It
I
does.
think, and that's really helpful,
Yeah.
especially if you're nervous before you go on stage.
We're gonna cross, we'll start with our left leg, because I'm left-handed. Cross it over, and then the opposite hand, which would be your right hand this time. Do that way, and then look over your shoulder. And then feel the difference. And then we'll do the other side to maintain balance. Ooh, that just cracked.
That stretching is really, really important.
Yes, science is kind of realizing it more and more. We always talk about heart health and cardio, but stretching is just important because you want to have a healthy heart and be able to tie your shoes when you're 85.
Yes. And
So-
as a performer, it really helps you be able to fit in lots of different roles too, because you're flexible and can
Literally.
literally flexible and figuratively. Yeah, that you can try different things and move in different ways and then not get hurt as
Right.
much. So
Yeah.
that's another piece.
Strength and flexibility,
Yeah.
add them to your routine. It just feels good.
So thank you, and don't forget that you can find us on social media on Twitter, Facebook, now on Instagram, and you can subscribe to our emails as well. So thanks for joining us.
Bye.